Almost nobody argues about money the way they argue about this. To one side, Bitcoin is the future of finance, freedom from banks and governments, the hardest money ever invented. To the other, it's a speculative bubble, a magnet for scams, and a machine for burning electricity. Both sides are absolutely certain, and almost nobody in the middle can tell you what the thing actually is. So today, no cheerleading and no dunking. Just the plainest possible explanation of what Bitcoin and crypto really are, how they work, why the price does what it does, and where the honest arguments actually lie. By the end, you won't be told what to think. You'll just finally understand what everyone is shouting about. Start with the problem it was built to solve. If I send you a photo, I still have the photo. Digital things copy perfectly, and that's fine for photos and terrible for money. If digital money could be copied, you could spend the same coin twice. For decades, the solution was simple. A trusted middleman keeps the ledger. Your bank knows how much you have, and when you pay someone, it moves the number. That works, but it means the bank is in charge. It can freeze accounts, block payments, charge fees, or make mistakes. In 2008, an anonymous person published a paper proposing something different. A money system where nobody is in charge and the ledger is kept by everyone at once. So, how does that actually work? Imagine a shared notebook that thousands of computers around the world each hold a copy of. Every payment gets written into it. Roughly every 10 minutes, the newest payments are gathered into a page, a block, and that page is glued onto the end of all the previous ones. That chain of pages is the blockchain. It's just a public list of every transaction ever made. The clever part is what stops people cheating. To add a page, computers compete to solve a pointless, enormously difficult puzzle. Solving it costs real electricity and real hardware, and the winner is paid in new Bitcoin. That's mining. Because rewriting history would mean redoing all that work. Faster than the whole rest of the network, cheating becomes wildly expensive instead of impossible in theory. Now, the question people ask most, why is it worth anything at all? It isn't backed by gold, or a government, or a company. And here's the uncomfortable answer for both camps. Neither is the money in your pocket. Modern currencies are worth something, because everyone agrees they are, and because governments demand taxes in them. Bitcoin has no government behind it, so it leans entirely on the other half. Shared belief, plus a promise written in code. Only 21 million will ever exist. Nobody can print more. For its supporters, that verifiable scarcity is the whole point. Digital gold in a world where central banks create money at will. For its critics, scarcity alone doesn't create value. Something has to be genuinely useful or wanted, and that argument is still open. Which brings us to the price, and the part that ruins people. Bitcoin doesn't move like a normal asset. It has repeatedly risen by hundreds of percent and then fallen 70 or 80%. More than once. That isn't a malfunction, it's the nature of an asset with no earnings, no dividends, and no anchor. A share of a company is priced on the profits people expect from it. Bitcoin has no profits, so its price is almost entirely what the next person will pay for it. That makes it exquisitely sensitive to mood, headlines, interest rates, and hype. When money is cheap and people are optimistic, it soars. When fear returns, it falls faster than almost anything else. If you can't watch half your money disappear for 2 years without panicking, that's information about you, not about Bitcoin. Here's the part that doesn't fit on a poster. Crypto is not one thing. Bitcoin is one project, deliberately simple and slow. Ethereum is a different design, more like a global computer that can run programs, which is where most of the newer activity lives. And then there are tens of thousands of other tokens. And this is where the honest talk begins. The overwhelming majority of them go to zero. Many exist for one reason: to be sold to you. The pattern repeats endlessly. A promising story, a coin that rises fast, influencers paid to promote it, and then the founders quietly sell into the excitement and vanish. It's called a rug pull, and it has taken billions. If someone promises guaranteed returns in crypto, you have not found an opportunity. You have found the exit strategy of somebody else. So what is it actually useful for today? Honestly, a few things genuinely work. Sending value across borders without a bank? Quickly matters a lot if you live somewhere with capital controls, a collapsing currency, or no banking access. Argentina and Turkey aren't abstract examples. Holding an asset no government can inflate away appeals to people who have watched their savings evaporate. And the underlying technology has real uses in settlement and record keeping. But it's equally honest to say what hasn't happened. Bitcoin has not replaced everyday money. Almost nobody buys coffee with it. Fees and volatility make it clumsy for small payments. And after 15 years, most people who own it are not spending it. They are betting on it going up. Then there are the criticisms worth taking seriously, whichever side you're on. The energy use is real. Bitcoin's network consumes as much electricity as a mid-sized country, though the share coming from renewables keeps rising, and the argument about whether that's waste or fair price for a neutral payment system is genuinely contested. Crime is real too, and also often exaggerated, since a public permanent ledger is a strange choice for a criminal. And there's the irony that a system built to escape middlemen has recreated them, with most people holding coins on exchanges. Some of those exchanges have collapsed and taken customer money with them, which is where the oldest rule in this space comes from. If you don't hold the keys yourself, you don't really hold the coins. So if you're curious, what does sensible actually look like? First, separate the question. Do you want to speculate on the price, or do you believe in the technology? Those are different decisions, and get confused constantly. Second, size it like the risky asset it is. The common guidance is money you could genuinely afford to lose entirely. And for most people, that's a small slice of a portfolio, not the portfolio. Third, ignore anything that promises certainty, guaranteed yields, or a coin that's about to explode. Fourth, understand what you own and where it's held. And finally, if it keeps you awake at night, that's a perfectly good reason to own none of it. There is no obligation to have an opinion in the form of money. Let's land the plane. 3 things to take with you. 1. Bitcoin is a public ledger maintained by thousands of computers instead of a bank, which makes it money that nobody controls, for better and for worse. 2. It has no earnings and no anchor, so its price is driven by belief and mood, which is why it rises and falls so violently, and why it isn't a savings account. 3. Crypto is not one thing. There's a serious technology conversation, and there's an enormous casino built next to it, and telling them apart is most of the skill. If you understood this, you're already ahead of most of the people arguing about it online. If it helped, subscribe. It's the only thing that helps this channel grow. Next time, we'll look at something everyone quotes and almost nobody can define: GDP, and what it really measures about your life. This has been Plain Economics. No jargon, no agenda, just plain.